Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Dating is Hard podcast. I'm your host, Joe Welkie. You can follow everything about the show at Dating is Hard Comedy on Instagram. You can go to datingishardcomedy.com now. Got a website up, baby. Super official. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie. You can see where I'm going to be, what I'm up to. And the Dating is Hard live show is every fourth Wednesday at Pack Theater. It is by donation theater, so that means if you can't afford to pay for a ticket or whatever, you can just come. But if you want to just throw some money their way, it definitely goes a long way into helping the theater keep going, helping it run, etc. Today on the podcast, I have a good friend of mine. It actually is really funny because I met this girl back last year, I think, and it was back when I was actually on dating apps to date. And we actually went out on a couple dates, and things didn't work out. I would think I was trying to see somebody else at the time. Well, that's definitely what happened. You're going to hear a little bit of a story about all of that in this podcast, but this woman is absolutely phenomenal. She's a great actress. She's just the light of anyone's life who, has her in her life. She's just the best. So, I'm going to let you guys listen in on my little chat with Avrielle. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dating is Hard podcast. This is a podcast about love and relationships and all that stuff. Today with me, I've got a very, very special guest. So if you don't understand what the podcast is about, lately I've been getting on dating apps and all of that stuff to find completely random strangers to talk to about their thoughts and musings and opinions and stories about dating. But today, doing a little something different, doing a little bit of somebody that I've known for quite a bit. Though we haven't met this time around via Bumble, we have met through Bumble a while ago, back when I was dating in earnest. Or is it in earnest?
Yeah, you were in sincere earnest, as was I.
Yes, when we were trying to actually do stuff. Didn't work out, but still remained very good friends.
I'm hoping this podcast will change that. I have a ring in my back pocket.
Oh, God. This is, I've been put on the spot now. I still will eventually sometimes slide into her DMs if something happens. And I'm just like, oh, my God, you look good. Good God. If this is something catches my eye. So I would like to introduce everyone to the podcast, my good and talented friend, Avrielle. Hello.
Yay. I'm so happy that this could work out.
Yes, absolutely. And also, you're no stranger to the Dating is Hard brand, because you had participated in the live show as a contestant, where you got to hear a bunch of comedians trying to, I guess, win your heart. And then you got to ask them questions.
They all won a part of my heart.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah,
I mean, you're just one of the most lovely people I've ever met from dating apps, and just such a ray of sunshine. So, thanks for coming on and doing this.
I am honored. I'm very excited. I've listened to the podcast, and I was so excited to listen, and now I'm like, oh, now I can share my musings.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's what it's all about. Oh, musings, experiences, all of that. Good.
All of that and all that jazz.
And fuck yeah, Chicago, I love it. So this is funny because I was on Bumble, obviously, trying to find people for the podcast, and then who do I see but Avrielle? Sent her a screenshotted video of me swiping right on her to be like, hey, I see you. So you're currently on Bumble.
Yes. And
how's that going for you?
It's I download it, I delete it. I teach part-time at a very private, preppy school. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if I try to get the kids' attention, I'll just say, hey, guys, you can go through my phone, make up a profile for me, and then we'll see what happens if you're really good. It's almost like being a mom and saying, we're going to stop at C's Candy.
So wait, the children make your dating profile?
Oh, my God, yeah, it's great. Well, they haven't made the Bumble one because I just re-downloaded it because, as you know, from swiping twice, it's the same thing.
Yep.
Tacos and Shakespeare, that one photo dancing, a couple dancing. Yeah, I had them do it on Coffee Meets Bagel because I just thought that was absolute
Oh, I completely forgot about Coffee Meets Bagel.
goober trash. And your friend, who also does the Dating is Hard show with Joe Welkie / roommate.
Oh, a tiff.
Get this. So the first time I went to see Joe in a show, I surprised him with my friend, and we might or might not have had rosé in our water bottles. We were having a great time. It was funny because on Coffee Meets Bagel at 12:30 every day it re-updates itself.
Yes.
So then the next day after seeing the show, I saw a tiff, which means that 12:30 the day before or well before that means that he had to have liked me to come up on the liked side of things. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wanted to text it to you then, but I'm like, no.
It was like meeting a celebrity.
It was so funny. I'm like, maybe they've talked about it, but it was funny because he was a bit odd with me, but I'm like, is that because I'm tipsy or this is just weird? And I
No, a tiff is odd sometimes.
maybe it's just odd, but I thought it was so funny because it shows up on the he likes you section, and I see it, I'm like, no. And I sent it to my friend, and I'm like, this is he, right? She goes, it's the same name. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's not many a tiffs out there.
I'm like, maybe it's like a trolling joke, though. So we have to find out from a tiff.
Yeah,
Because
I don't know where. I don't know if he's here.
Y'all are
right now.
roommates.
Yeah, I'll
so like
actually
maybe you
find
guys
out.
talk, or maybe he did it to like tell you if I swiped yes or no, but I didn't.
Yeah, I
Did
don't
not.
remember.
It was
I don't
so
know if
funny.
he ever brought it up, but you did change your profile because this time around
What
you
do I
didn't have
have?
that picture. I distinctly remember your first picture was that picture where you're like cross-eyed and blowing air into your cheeks.
Oh, then I did change it
Yeah,
somewhere.
you changed it.
You know what? Maybe this is like the third genesis of Bumble. The first one was when we found each other, and then the second one, I probably changed it, and because all I've done is just re-download it. Like I've done nothing. This
Oh my
time
God! There's
around.
an emergency going on. Everybody, they're searching for. Am I the only one hearing sirens right now?
It's my dad.
Oh, jeez, Louise. He knows that you're on the
terrifying
Dating
man.
is Hard podcast.
Yeah.
Gotta save you.
Seriously, no, he's terrifying.
Really, your dad is?
Oh yeah, like
Why?
the first boyfriend I ever had, he said, I don't need to see anything happen. I don't have to hear about it. You make me feel funny one day. I wake up and I just feel like this isn't going to work out. You're done.
Oh man.
Are we understood?
Just
Yeah, he goes,
a vague threat.
yeah, just a nice vague threat.
Just you're done.
You're done. Don't ask him for an IE example in case of, no.
It doesn't. There needs to be zero evidence. He's just judge, jury, executioner. You're done. Buddy.
You're done. And then the best part is that that guy, so here was the thing. I was 16. This person was 20.
Mm-hmm.
He was a drummer in my brother's band.
Okay, well that's scandalous from the get-go.
But my dad said, just like any child, she needs a babysitter. So it's either myself, my wife, or her godmother, who's in her 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of paying by the hour for a babysitter, if you're taking my daughter out to dinner, you're taking me out to dinner. And I
So
don't
your
just
dad
order
would
a,
just go to dinner with you
yeah,
guys?
he's like, and I don't just order a salad. Yeah. So, but and he goes, and you can't hold hands.
Wow.
You can't hold hands. You can't kiss. You can't anything. Terrifying. That was 2
That
years.
is
That
terrifying.
was 2 years. 16 to 18. 16, 17, 18.
And that boyfriend stayed with you for 2 years, taking your dad out for dinners.
Yeah, but here's the thing. My dad got busy.
I think that your dad just kind of wanted free dinners. He wasn't too concerned about you. He was just like, I wonder where they're going
He
tonight.
goes, let's see how far I can, how much I can milk this one. How many Diet Cokes and Patty Melts can
and
I
I don't
get?
just get salads. I hope that you're cool with that because I'm gonna be daddy boy gonna be getting some steak.
See, I think I should say that when I go on a date. I'm not just going to order a salad.
You totally should.
I think that should be the opening line.
You should say that and then just order a salad. Just like to fuck them in the head and just be like, wait, so there's definitely something coming after the salad and they're just waiting. And you're like, no, I think that's good. That's enough. They're like, wait, no, you don't just order salad. So is this just like a bad date? You're like, I don't know. I guess we'll never know.
You'll never know. My dad will be like, hey, Avrielle, let's go. Oh.
So was that your first boyfriend?
First
16?
boyfriend.
How did you guys meet?
He was a drummer in my brother's band.
Oh, right.
See, the reason why I have an Instagram name, but I call my dad the Venezuelan caveman.
Uh-huh.
He was like, you're the cave daughter. I'm a cave girl. Because I call him the Venezuelan caveman because he's from Caracas, Venezuela. Uh-huh. And English is his like second language. Mm-hmm. So sometimes he messes up phrases and things. So I just call him the Venezuelan caveman. But yeah, so I was like never allowed to sleep over other people's homes.
Yeah, my family was kind of like that, but especially when I was that age. They wouldn't let me sleep over at like my friends' houses.
Yeah.
Let
That's
alone
good.
They also like I wasn't allowed to date until 16-ish.
Really?
Yeah, they were really strict about that.
Were they like, you'd get to wait till you have a job?
No, we had a bunch of really weird rules in my house. So one of the things was, so I've been wearing glasses since like second grade.
He's not wearing glasses now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for fucking good reason, because fuck glasses. They're the most uncomfortable thing, and I hate wearing my glasses.
But you could still see some suntan stains from a spray tan on my dress.
Oh, yeah. You got
His
some major
eyes
suntan stains on your
Which
dress.
I will explain later. A spray suntan for a job. Wait, keep going, Joe Welkie.
So, yeah, when we had a bunch of rules, so we couldn't get contact lenses until we were 16. We couldn't have a cell phone until we were 18. We couldn't date, I think, until we were 16. But even then, it was like still kind of sketchy. But I kind of found loopholes into these rules because I played lacrosse.
Okay.
And you have to wear a helmet. So
wait, what's the loophole in wearing a helmet?
Well, I would wear my glasses underneath the helmet, and then the glasses kept breaking because lacrosse is a very like hard sport. You get
very
tackled.
Rigorous sport.
Yeah. So my glasses kept breaking, and when I was 14,
oh no.
I know. When I was 14, I convinced my mom to actually get me contacts because she was tired of buying me glasses. And my older sister, was super pissed off about that because she had to wait until she was 16, and I didn't have to.
My parents let me do it when I was in 4th grade, get contacts.
Contacts? That seems so young.
Yeah.
4th grade, you're like 9?
Yeah. I got glasses in 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then... But I was also like working and paying for my own stuff. So they're like, if you want to pay for contacts. In 4th grade? Yeah.
So what were you doing?
A sweatshop. I am Latin, and it's very hard to get honest work. No, like TV shows. And
oh, yes. You're an actress.
I'm an actor.
You're in, quote, the biz.
I'm in the biz. With like 5 Z's. Wait, so as you were saying, so you were able to get contacts
before the legally allowed.
Is that why you liked lacrosse? Like, did that...
No, I just like... In Baltimore, that's what you do. I'm serious. That's like the sport.
In Kent, we play polo, and in Maryland, we play lacrosse.
I'm dead serious. That's what we do. It's the biggest sport in Maryland.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, all of the biggest college lacrosse teams are in Maryland or New York. And, like Johns Hopkins, University of Maryland, Loyola had a good run for a while.
Keep giving me more. I love knowing how much you know about lacrosse.
It's like Tiff was actually a D1 lacrosse player. He was a D1 lacrosse goalie for, I think it was a college called Robert Morris.
If he put that on his coffee meets bagel, I might have. So attractive.
Anyway, so 16 years old, that was your first boyfriend.
Yeah.
That was when I got my first girlfriend when I was 16. But
bonding.
So you guys dated for 2 years. He was just taking out your dad all the time.
And my mom was like the the enabler, but she was just like, this is a bit much. I have a life. So she would drop us off at the can we use places? Can we say them? Okay, no, so sometimes like whenever I'm on a job, I'm like, I'm not allowed to say Americana.
Oh, no, you can say whatever you feel comfortable saying.
Okay, cool. So my mom would like drop us off at the Americana. She'd be like, bye guys. I'll be in the Barneys, or like I'll be in anthropology while you go see that movie.
Unsupervised movie scene.
Or like we would see a movie, but my mom would sit like 6 rows ahead of us. Now, mind you, I was told by my father in front of this man who asked my dad if he could take me out. Well,
that's very gentlemanly.
Oh yeah, he just said, Mr. Cordy, I I'd love to take you out to lunch. There's just something I would like your input and wisdom on. So then he talked, because I always, like, I had a crush on him, and I'm like, hey, so I told you I had a crush was, like, the craziest thing I've ever done. Mind you, when I told him I liked him, I had braces. I had braces. This man is in his 20s. I would never make it happen, but my dad knows, just like you found the loopholes with the glasses. He knew if he said no to it, if he was against it and he said, no, you cannot date him, that I would
You would have found a way.
Yeah, so in him thinking that he was complicit in the dating idea, planning, that, oh, I'm complicit, I'm, saying yes, I'm working with you, that I would probably not get into more trouble.
That's smart. That's like kind of like if you're going to drink in the house.
Oh, my parents don't drink at all.
Well, I don't either, but that's a lot of parents when they're trying to keep their kids safe and they don't want them drunk driving or anything.
Yeah.
Like, you guys can drink here if you're going to underage drink, but like, I don't want anybody driving or doing anything weird and crazy.
I don't want people holding hands. So holding hands became like the thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Did you hold hands in the movies when your mom would be like, hey, I'm going to be at Barney's?
So, no, he did not hold my hand. Because in the movies, I was just frozen. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, we're in the dark. And it's the movies. I know what happened in the 1950s in Greece. I saw what, what's his face? John Travolta tried to do.
Danny Zuko.
Yeah, Danny Zuko tried to do. That's too much. I can't. He's like a leather jacket boy. I'm like a blonde. No. But tell me more. So so the first time we held hands, it was him, my brother, and me, watching Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. My brother passed out, and then he did like the pinky thing.
Oh.
And all I was thinking
feeler.
was, OMG, it's happening. And I was freaking out. I lit up like a Christmas tree on the inside, and I'm like, I'm like, this is amazing. And it was just that.
Just
like,
two pinkies barely touching. But that's a lot. That's a lot with your first experience.
And then it was a handhold.
Oh, so romantic.
So romantic. And then I was just like, what is this? Do you do this to the other bandmates' little sisters?
Oh, man. Accusatory from the get-go.
Always.
Wow. You had suspicion immediately. You're like, oh, you're just up to no good with your pinky holding. Son of a bitch.
Well, then it became, that was a fun relationship. The first kiss was, this is where it was sneaky. I was in Paris for a month the summer before going into college, and my brother was there, and my mom was there, and my dad, but we all went there at different times, so we Airbnb'd for a month. Long story short, when my dad had left...
Wait, you Airbnb'd in Paris?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay. I always forget how old people are.
How old are you?
I'm 29. So I was like the summer before college.
That's like LA. I don't even want to say.
Really?
No, I'm kidding.
Should I not be advertising that?
No. That's totally fine. I just think there's like human years and dog years, right?
Yeah.
And then for LA, there's like human years and LA years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like blowing my mind that you're like, yeah, we were Airbnb-ing the summer before college, because for me, like, I feel like Airbnb didn't come out until after I graduated college.
Oh, gotcha.
So I was like, man, wait a second. That's so weird when you talk to somebody younger than you and they just kind of like miss something.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was recently talking to somebody that was 20 and they had no idea what Y2K was.
So what did you say?
I had to explain the Y2K scare to them. And they were like, that sounds really stupid. Why were you all afraid of that? It's like,
didn't they? That's like, for me, I remember like where I was when 9/11 happened, and then we had to talk about it in school. People are scared to go to school. So then when I talk to kids about it, I'm like, oh, that you...
Yeah,
okay.
you have no idea.
You have no idea.
But anyway, you were in Paris.
Oh, yeah. So
sorry, we got
first kiss,
massively
Eiffel Tower
sidetracked.
lighting up. Yeah.
You did the Eiffel Tower first kiss? Damn.
So sweet. So I guess it was worth it.
Yeah, that's really worth it. That's like the most romantic first kiss that a person could do.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you just hear that pop?
That was great.
That was my hip.
But you're sitting. Oh,
it happens all the time.
You got to get that checked out.
I mean, I don't know what it is. I probably have like arthritis.
It's because, ladies, he's so tall. He's so tall.
Thanks for trying to wingman me here on the podcast,
I'm trying to help you,
Avrielle.
man.
So what was the downfall of that? Because that sounds like it's going pretty good. You had a first kiss on the Eiffel Tower.
Oh,
your
so
your
sweet.
dad's going on
My
all of
dad
your dates
didn't-
with you.
Well, my dad didn't know.
How did you
that he
guys
was
sneak
there.
away?
Well, my brother was like, yeah, that's chill because this is my brother's best friend. And he's just like, yeah, that's fine. So my dad didn't know until years later that Christian had come out with us. It was so funny. And I'm like, Christian, you cannot post anything. You cannot post anything. Yeah. Well, then I went away to college and I just was like, oh, I think there was just a lot at stake. And it made me think that I loved this person more than I actually do care for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was cheating on me and then lying about it. And then
Oh, well, I mean, obviously that's going to lead to a downfall.
but before I left, so it wasn't like when I was in college. I don't know. Maybe I might have been more forgiving and like, well, let's try it out because I was away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then dated a bunch of people who cheated on me and then was in a relationship for 3 years and that person did not.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
I was going to say, is this like a recurring thing? Where
Seriously, I love to date players. I love it. It's so much fun.
Oh, no.
Well, it's really, well, here's a fun fact. If you date a player, breaking up with them, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is great. But it's really hard if somebody's pleasant and decent.
Yeah.
I dated the most decent, pleasant Brit. He went to Cambridge. It's proper Brit.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Breaking
how
out
do
some
we
accents here.
like do
This
that?
is now serving as your voiceover demo reel.
I don't do it. I'm good. No, I'm fine. But yeah, it was just, I'm like, that was the hardest breakup, I think.
Yeah, I was dating somebody recently who it was just like, they were lovely, they were pleasant, there was nothing wrong with them, but I just didn't have the feeling that it was going to take that next step.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it sucks to do that.
Wait, can I share something fun with you?
Absolutely, go for it.
I've always broken up with people, even passive dating stuff. The first person, whoever, is like, hey, you know what? I don't see this going any further, was you.
Oh my God.
So, Joe Welkie, in a sort of
In the
way,
history books.
you are a first for me.
Well,
Wow.
cool, but also I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. Well, when you wrote that, I'm like, totally.
Yeah.
I think people are relieved.
Yeah.
Because once I had the breakup with that one other person, it was like,
So you've always been the dumper.
yeah. So, like, I'm like, this is dumb. People are like, that's not being dumped. I'm like, it sort of is. I'm not the first to reject them.
Well, we went out on like 3 dates, if I recall.
Right?
We went
I
out
don't
on
know.
3.
Yeah.
And I think it was something where I was like,
I almost
there was
felt,
somebody else that I was interested in, and then that opportunity presented itself, and I was like, I'm sorry, but
oh, no. And
Yeah.
I knew about that, too. That's another reason why I went to the show.
uh
Because I was just like, hey, Joe, let's hang out. Let's go see a show. And you're like, oh, I'm at the Comedy Store.
was that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then I was texting your friend who's like, oh, I have an extra ticket. Like, to this show. I go, oh, no, I'm seeing another show. They go, oh, there's that guy who I think you're sort of seeing. His name, he's really tall. I'm like, Joe, no, but he's at the Comedy Store. And he was at UCB. He goes, no, he's here, I think, like, on a date. I'm like, take a picture.
Oh, no.
Yes. I can show you the whole text conversation.
Really? I was
Yeah.
found out. Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And it was so funny. He's like, you should totally come to this show and be like, oh, hi.
Oh.
And I'm like, absolutely not. I have to go support my friend in a show that she was doing. I go, can you just send me a picture? And so he sent a picture. I'm like, yep, cool. That's great.
Oh,
So when I got the
man.
text from you, I'm like, sure.
Oh, now I feel like such a piece of shit.
No, you're not. You're like, I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, have you ever done something like that where it's like you're seeing multiple people and then it's like, hey, you want to do this? And you're like, oh.
So when I was seeing you, I was seeing 2 other Joes. I was seeing 3 Joes at one time.
3 Joes at
Yeah.
once? That's
Yeah.
a rarity.
But I thought it was great because I'm like, if anything happens,
Yeah.
Joe, I just say Joe and I don't get in trouble with anybody.
Oh, yeah.
But which Joe? Well, it'd be funny if it's like, you said my name, but like it was someone else. I know when you say my name that you're speaking to me, but you were just talking about another Joe.
Yeah, that you said Joe with a different inflection in your voice that I've never heard before.
It lacked honesty. It lacked intimacy and vulnerability.
Yeah, you're lucky with that because there's no other Avrielles that I've
I
ever
know,
met.
I'm screwed. That's why I don't like people to call me babe.
Oh, yeah.
Because just player 101, babe. And I'm like, oh, no. I will address this. Call me by my name. Not by your name, by my name.
Call me by my name.
Do you know how what's his face? Robert Pattinson in Twilight is like, say it. Say it.
I've never seen Twilight.
I've read the books and seen it. He says in the trailer, if you say it, he goes, say it out loud. And then Kristen Stewart bites her lip and she's like, vampire. And
so dramatic.
So I'm like, say my name out loud.
There is actually a couple people that I've talked to, not on the podcast, but where they were on a date with somebody and the person they were on a date with just didn't know their name at all.
That's so great.
Because I mean, you get in the patterns where you're on a dating app, you're just meeting so many people that it's hard to be like, wait a second, who am I on a date with again? I know who you are and what you do, but your name is just escaping me so much right now.
Well, I try to make sure that I don't repeat myself because you're like, wait, have I already told this story? Mm-hmm. Wait, what did we talk about? So I'm like, I'm so sorry, I really have to go to the bathroom. So then I go to the bathroom and I'll look over like the text chain or like why we were even talking on the Bumble in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, good.
See, I've done that where before a date, I'll just go through what I was talking about with that person.
You have to.
Okay. Because I've been caught where it's just like, yeah, you told me that. Even now when I'm just on Bumble for podcasting, I was talking to somebody and I was like, so wait, what part of town are you in again? And they're like, we talked about this before. It's just like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get a fuckload of people on a podcast.
Well, and also it's like, what do you think this is?
Yeah.
Like we are one of many. Like Legion, we are one of many. Get out of the man. What's your name? Legion. Like we are Legion, the dating of Legion, this thing that needs to be exercised. But it's I don't feel bad. The things that I don't like is like when people are just generic off the bat, just like a hey, I'm like, ew.
Yeah. Well, are you only on Bumble and have you only ever used Bumble? Have you been on other things?
So I've
Except for
done
Coffee Meets Bagel.
Coffee Meets, oh my God. So
that's the thing.
bad.
The thing about Coffee Meets Bagel out here for guys, nothing but Asians.
What, really?
Bunch of Asians. I don't know what it is.
Asian
about
guys like me and I don't get it.
Really? Why not? You're a lovely person.
I think it's because I used to work at a Vietnamese nail salon as a receptionist and I speak some Vietnamese. Wow,
Well, there you go.
Okay. All
the Asian listeners are quivering.
They're like, oh my gosh, she did it so bad or very well.
Yeah.
I get mixed reviews at the nail salon and I still go there and they still try to make me work even though I haven't worked there in years. They're evil. That could be a whole stand-up bit of being the...
There you go.
Anyways,
save it for the stage.
Save it for the stage. That's what you should say on a bad date with an actress. I'm sorry. Save it for the stage.
I do that to all my, like, if a comedian friend is talking to me and it seems like they're working on a bit, or if somebody else seems like they're working on a bit.
Wait,
what
do you mean?
Save it for the
like,
stage?
explain that. Like,
you never talk to somebody where it's like, this is like kind of a rehearsed thing and they think it's funny. And you can tell that they've told it before, and you just go, hey, why don't you save that for the stage?
No.
Oh, dude, I do that to my comedian friends all the time.
I love it. I feel like when people perform, but I'm like, oh, thank you. I didn't have to pay for that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Next time, say save it for the stage and just give them a fucking little bit of self-consciousness in their body and be like, oh, shit, I've been found out.
But I'll pay to see it.
Well, there you go.
See, I don't want them to feel bad. I'll be like,
oh, I do.
Oh, wait, what were we talking about?
I don't even remember. But here's the thing. So I was talking about like people that you kind of break up with and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. And it's just like, there's something like that. We were talking about how that happened. Like, because there's absolutely, you're a very lovely person.
Oh, yeah.
You're super attractive. I think that you are a super catch. And that was one of the things where it was just like, this sucks because there's somebody else that I felt stronger about. Yeah. And that didn't work out, but
I'm still here. Cue that Sondheim song.
Yeah, but then I tried to set you up with the three of my friends.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, that was funny because So
I think he felt weird when I said, he goes, how do you know Joe? I'm like, oh, we've gone on dates.
Yeah, he
and I
definitely
think he
did.
Felt...
Well, he
Also,
came up to me like in front of you and was like, "Are you trying to set me up with your ex?" Or I was like, "No, we went on like 3 dates."
I said that we had gone on dates.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Matt,
you can say his name.
Matt.
He's a great comedian. He's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. But it was a really weird night when we tried to meet up. It was just a kerfuffle.
Oh no.
But it was fine. Like talking to him was fine. Wait, I guess he's number 2. This was weird. You guys,
I think you and comedians maybe just don't mix.
Oh my God, did I tell you about the time that the person was sort of kind of well known, and then I went to see them in a show?
You did.
And I didn't mean to. You wrote the funniest thing. You're like, Avrielle, raise your standards.
Yeah.
Looks like he bathed in
So tell this story.
Okay, so I don't want to say his name.
I don't want to say his name. I don't think you told me his name.
Okay, good.
Oh wait, no, you sent me his Instagram or something.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
So this person, who I found out has actually during that timeline had been dating somebody seriously, and he was still on. Yeah, I would have been the other woman.
Oh,
so
scandal.
Scandal. But unbeknownst to me, to the scandal. Anywho, so I, on the dating app, I'm sort of a funny lady, and they had this picture with their elbows out. I'm like, what are you, an elbow model? And then, because he has all this...
Okay, I'll stop you right there. Not just on the dating app you're funny. You're a funny person. You're hilarious. Dude, everyone at the show that you were the contestant on loved you.
And no one will see that footage.
I know, that's so well, they can see a little bit. I sent you like pictures of just your facial reaction.
I'm the worst liar. I am the worst.
But anyway, so this comedian guy, he was seeing another woman but you didn't know that.
I didn't know this.
Unbeknownst
to me. So then the conversation moves to texting. Also, I think I might be dating somebody right now who might be a distant cousin relative. Terrifying. Posted that. Like, okay. OMG. So anyways, I'm on the app, and we text. Now he is like won my heart because we're talking about Bob Fosse.
Okay.
And we're talking about comic books. My dad used to own a comic book store, so I can talk comic books.
Yeah.
And that's
maybe you and Tiff should go. It's like, no, he's got a girlfriend.
It's a strange cocktail of things that interest me. Mm-hmm. So we're getting along, and we're vibing really well. And every time he like texts me back, he texts me a lot, and then I'm like, well, I'm driving, so I try to call him, and he would just never pick up the call. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Whatever. So then anyways, I go out with my friends during the evening. My brother used to work at Bar Lubitsch and book all the music there, so I can always get him for free. I get free drinks. It's a very fun time. Mm-hmm. Unlike my parents and Joe Welkie, I do enjoy. I'm a lady of libations. So I go to this bar, and my friends were like getting a drink. It's fun. Sitting. It's a night of comedy.
Yeah, Bar Lubitsch has a bunch of comedy shows there.
Yeah. So then I go to the bathroom. I come out like kind of in between people coming out, so I'm not getting up when somebody's doing stand-up because that's rude.
Yeah. God bless you.
He has. And so I come back, and it's the guy, and he's doing like an elbow. So like before I recognize his face, I'm like, those elbows, I know them. I literally saw the elbows, and it was like doink doink, and I'm like, wow wow, no way, Josue, right? So and then I start getting closer, and I'm like, oh, he's old.
Yeah. So you haven't met this guy before this interaction, but you've been texting.
We've been texting, right? And it's weird because it's like always about to go somewhere, and I'm like, ask me on a date already. Yeah. Because he's just like, oh, you're so funny or whatever. And he's like texting like these monologue, like these like eHarmony email paragraphs.
Good Lord.
Good Lord indeed. So I'm just like, it's him. And then my friend's like, Avrielle, you're wrong. That's crazy. That can't be him. I'm like, you guys, I think I was hiding. This rarely happens. I was wearing my hair down. So I was literally hiding behind my hair, and I'm like, oh my God. We've been texting today, like hours before this. He sent me a text, and I haven't responded. Oh my God.
You left him on red.
I left him. I was like, I felt so icky.
Oh man. We got a fucking delivery happening right now. Hang on a second.
Who is it? I'm scared. This isn't planned, right?
No.
Okay, I'm like, please don't let it be someone that I dated.
No. And the guy is here right
the
now.
person who I think might be my cousin, and I don't want to date them anymore.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen on the Dating is Hard
Like,
podcast. We're
please
getting a
don't be.
delivery of probably some kind of Amazon thing
I'm
that I
still
ordered.
in disbelief that this is not part of the show. Because my life runs this weirdly. So anyways, long story short.
Did you go up to him and be like,
No.
hey, I'm the girl that you've been talking to?
No, because there was like a group of people around him. He definitely like has that entourage, and there were like some girls there. So I'm like, maybe he's on a date with one.
Yeah.
And to find out later, when I saw what his girlfriend actually looked like, I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, wow, that
Total
she
hottie?
was total.
Or was it the girl
It's
that
like
was
one
there?
of those things where you're like, is she 18 or 52?
Oh.
One of
So she
those.
was Asian.
No, she just was very done. You know, I'm like, I can't.
Oh, I know exactly.
You feel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very LA.
I'm trying to still
plasticky
give
face.
it dignity by
Yeah.
not saying anything else. So, anyways,
I'll take your baton. She's got a fucking lot of work done.
yeah, you know, it's like if I would I?
Yeah.
I don't know. So she, very very tight face.
Yeah.
Not tight-lipped, just a tight face.
Tight face.
Tight face. So
Shiny.
I just like walk out cracking up, and my friend's like, you have to text. I'm like, no. Like I felt like so anxious, nervous on the inside. Like I went to the bathroom and just collapsed. I'm like, what is my life? This is so. Because
Well, did he perform?
he performed.
Was he good?
Very funny.
Oh, okay.
Very funny. Yeah, he does a lot of impressions.
Oh, Jesus
Who's at the door?
Christ,
I'm really
God,
worried
this
now.
Is ridiculous. Hang on. Avrielle, you stay put. We're going to have a fucking... I'm going to see what this is. It's definitely like shorts that I order from Amazon.
That's great.
This is the weirdest podcast I've ever done so far.
Really?
No, but it's just like an alarm goes off, my hip's cracking, I'm getting a delivery or something. Hang on a second. So explain to how long have you been using dating apps? Like, what's your history with that?
My history started about, I want to say a little over a year ago when I had my breakup with that lovely person I had been with for 3 years. So we just started doing the dating apps. And I actually think I'm pretty good at coming up with a profile. I'm like, give enough information, not too much. I think maybe it's from auditioning and acting and always having to put myself out there. I'm like, I want them to see this.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's because it's kind of like a resume. It's your love resume, is it your dating profile? And you just want to be like, and that's what blows my mind is when people don't put any kind of effort into it. Or they just have nothing. It's just pictures.
But I think, like, therein that is what they're looking for. Like, you're putting out, like, your vibe. I honestly think your vibe attracts your tribe, or what you put out there will attract the people that can get along with it or would complement that.
Yeah.
So I think, like, when people are too descriptive, but they will find the person who will meet them where they're at. When people just put up the pictures, I'm in a place where now I've never thought about dating, just like, I'll go out, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the first, I think maybe it's because I'm jaded and I've had like the weirdest things happen to me and I'm just like, yeah, why not?
What weirdest things have happened to you?
Like, I'll see people like 5 years after, like, I was 20 and this one person hit on me at this coffee shop and we had like long email exchanges and then it kind of fell through because I went to London and I see him 5 years later walking down the street and I'm having dinner with a friend. And then I'm like, OMG, that's a guy. His name is, this is his name. And my friend's like, show me the emails.
Juan Carlos.
Yes, Juan Carlos. Let's call him Juan Carlos. So I show my friend Tracy the email exchange from 2015. And she's like, so she yells his name out loud. And he turns around and goes, yes? And then she goes,
Just
hi,
put you on the spot.
I'm
My
Tracy.
friend Avrielle here.
And he's like, oh my God, Avrielle. And I'm like, hi, how are you? Craig. And so he goes to sit down with us, and we're eating. And he ended up, like, paying for our dinner.
That's nice.
It was very nice. And was like, well, let me know if you ever want to hang out. I'm like, I'm good. Thanks for dinner.
Oh, shit. You shut him down?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a long story. He's a very interesting, he's retired at 36. He's retired. Oh, he's also older than me. So he's retired. He does music composition. He drives a Mercedes Jeep. He just kind of seems like a big old question mark. I dated somebody in London that was like very well off and like the aristocracy with his family, and I always felt like whenever I went out with him, it was not safe because even if I called the police, it wouldn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just like, this person is such a wild card. I'm like, doesn't feel safe. No.
Yeah, I would have never thought about that, where it's just like, if you're dating someone from, I guess, royalty or aristocracy or something, and the cops aren't going to have your back, they're going to definitely take that person's back.
Yeah, well, and it was weird. Like, I don't know where he was, like, you know, with his bloodline, but, like, we went to a game, and he's friends with Prince Harry.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so he was just like, I'm like, oh, wow, I've never seen royalty before in person. He goes, you haven't? I'm like, no. And he goes, hey, Harry. And he goes, Ben. And he says his full name. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I was there with my friend who, like, when you know if, like, you're dating somebody and the person's like, hey, I don't really know you that well. Maybe if I could bring a friend and you could bring a friend.
See, that's something that I've never heard of before, but a couple podcasts ago, I was interviewing two girls.
At the same time?
Well,
did they both know?
No, yeah. Two girls, one podcast.
Blowing minds.
But they both were talking about how a lot of times for their first dates, they'll do like a double date. And I've never done that. I've never thought that was a good idea. But now you're kind of like suggesting that might be a good idea.
It was strange because I had just landed in London, another weird dating story of mine. And I hadn't even seen London. Like, I go from getting off the airplane into the, you know, the tube. Yeah. Please mind the gap. So I go in and like I'm like fumbling. It was like a romantic comedy, like fumbling with my suitcases, and this person goes, "Please let me help you. It's quite pathetic."
Wow,
darling, you look quite pitiful. And so
that's romance.
And I'm like this. I'm like,
you look pathetic.
Like, no, this is quite no. The action of me trying to like grab all my suitcases and go down these stairs.
I think the accent is what makes that charming. Because if you say that in a marriage, she's like, "Hey, pathetic. You need help. You look help. Pathetic."
And I was just like this. Well, and I was annoyed. But I look up. I'm like, "Oh, he's cute. F him." So so we get in the tube and we're talking for a while. And he waits and he walks me all the way to my stop. And I'm like, you know, this has been really nice, but I don't want you to walk me to where I live because I still don't know you that well. And he goes, well, can we at least exchange numbers? I'm like, I don't even have a number yet.
Yeah.
And he goes, email. And he goes, here, give me your phone. And then I'm like, he goes, I'm not a gypsy. I'm not going to do... And I'm like, oh, he's so on. And so then he takes my phone, he puts in his email.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to hang out, but they ended up having like a planned rehearsal that I had forgotten that I had to be at. Because I'm like, oh, I don't have to be there, but we were all called. So I'm like, oh, sorry, I have a rehearsal. I can't hang out this one day when we planned for it. And he goes, well, the next thing I have is this thing with my mates, and we're going to go to the Invictus games.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, cool. So to me, it's like Dodger Stadium. So it's going to be me and his friends. I'm like, well, can I actually bring a friend? He goes, oh, yeah, no, I'll bring some friends, too. But I should have known, because when we met up with them, the friend that my friend went on the date with is somebody who had been in, like, the British Olympics for cycling.
Whoa.
Yeah. I'm like, and then his other friend is like this scientist who travels India and he does like environmental, like weird science. They were very like interesting people. And I'm like, why are they friends with him?
Also, why did you ever want to go out with me?
Yeah, I'm like, because I'm young and American and fun and I'm just this whatever.
Yeah.
I did not get it. So we were, and he just thought, it's weird. Also in London, when you say you're an actor, it's like saying, I'm a doctor. There's a different kind of, so it's like, I'm like, oh, I'm an actor. They go, oh, that's wonderful. And you've been invited to do a show at the Globe. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, when you say it like that, it's pretty great.
When you say it here, it's just kind of like, yes, so's everybody.
You're
you fucking waiter,
else.
aren't you?
Yeah. But there were some things that happened where I'm just like, oh, he can do anything he wants. The rules do not apply to him.
Yeah, probably murdered like 3 people.
I don't know. Well, he wouldn't do it. He would have somebody else pay for it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so that was like a wild time. So this person, Craig, reminds me of that, and that makes me not feel safe and like uncertain.
Well, how long did you date the London guy for?
Ben, we hung out 2 other times on our own, and then I just never contacted him again.
So
fine.
This comedian.
When I started dating a Greek.
Is Craig the comedian, or who's
Oh no,
Craig?
Craig is a composer. Ben
is Craig the person that you were worried that it's your cousin?
No, that's a man. His name.
I'm lost right now.
There's a man. His name is. I'm not.
Don't name names if you don't want to.
I'm not going to name names, but this man has the same last name as my great grandfather.
Okay.
On my dad's side, my dad's like had an incredible career singing, sensational.
I've seen your Instagram stories. He's a fantastic gentleman.
Yeah, he's been on like Michael Jackson albums. He sang at the White House, just him to sing for evenings. He's on Broadway shows. He's an incredible singer. So this guy is actually an opera singer, like a well-known opera singer.
Hold on.
What?
Who are we talking?
The person that might be my cousin. This
Okay.
is separate. This is recent.
So yeah, this is the person that you're like. This is the most recent person that I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And it might be your cousin.
Yep.
He's a trained opera singer.
Yep.
Have you gone out
and
yet?
he's Latin. We're supposed to go out on Sunday.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. He has plans. Makes me nervous.
He has it planned and he hasn't told you?
Well, he just, okay, so we have a time, and he goes, I can pick you up. I'm like, no, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be in Los Feliz.
Okay. Well, that's
fine.
That's where we went on our first date. I don't know if
Did
you
we?
remember.
Oh, my God, because I'm a deacon at my church, and I had a deacon meeting. It must have been a Tuesday.
It
was a Tuesday because I had a deacon meeting,
Alcove.
and you were just like, hey, you haven't really responded to my text, and I think, like, not my text, your message, Bumble message, and you're like, you haven't really responded, and I know that you might be busy or overflooded with whatever, but I think you're really interesting, and I'd like to meet up. And I'm like, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah.
I see that you're close to me because Bumble lets you know the other person's how far away they are.
Yeah.
And so then we met up after a deacon meeting that I had, and yes, I am the youngest deacon at my church.
Do you find it more difficult, especially in LA, to be like Christian and deacon and involved with a church, and maybe people kind of like brush that aside? Because I showed my buddy Paul Schisler. He's a hilarious comedian.
Yeah.
Also, he's a devout Christian man.
Oh, is that the one that you just showed me the video?
Yeah. He lives in New York, and he was having a very difficult time meeting people that weren't, super judgmental about the whole Christian thing.
Well, I find when I tell you about the string of people that I've been cheated on by, they have been like really good Christian dudes.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really
Wow.
disappointing because they know how to talk the talk in such a way of how things ought to be. And I also feel like as a Christian, sometimes we are like active rebels because, and there's excitement because we know it's against the rules. I fall into this as well, but there's like an excitement in doing something kind of bad. But we feel like there's this duplicitous nature where it's like, this is me at church, this is church me, who I know I'm supposed to be, and I can do that for a day. And then who I feel like being during the week. And for me, I try to keep who I am at church the same, Avrielle, like who I am like with my students, who I am with my friends, So I feel like with Christian dudes, they know like the list, like as a Christian, what you're supposed to look for in a spouse. Everybody kind of knows that. And so I feel like those things are being said and some of those points are being met. So much so that you can kind of go autopilot into the dating.
Really?
Yeah, where it's like, oh, well, we agree on this. I can relax. And I think once you do that in any relationship, you kind of either lose what was exciting or things
Yeah,
go
well, there's
bad.
no, like, getting to know you at that point, because then it's just kind of like, all right, I know what you believe. And
Well, I know what you're
pretty
supposed to
much-
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why sometimes people get married after 6 months.
Yeah.
It was really, when I was dating that one guy for the 3-year one, I would be in weddings where the person had their courtship and their marriage date was less time than I had been dating the person that I had been with. I'm like, oh, that kind of puts things in perspective for me. Because, I lose track of time. That's why I'm late places. And, but then I'm like, oh, wow, it's been 3 years. They said they were going to move out and they haven't. I guess we're done.
Yeah.
Action manifests intention.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I guess that's kind of where their priorities lie. But yeah, I think being a Christian, it can be hard. But for me, I always feel like I'm an artist and a Christian. And if we think of them as circles, the Venn diagram and the intersection of the two is not much of an overlap. I feel like I'm a dot.
Yeah.
So with Christians, it's like, oh, you're crazy. And with the artists, they're like, oh, you're a Christian?
Yeah.
So I just love being different and changing how that's broken down for other people. Like, I feel like I'm a spokesperson for like a new kind of Christian.
That was kind of how I felt talking with Paul, because Paul's a comedian.
Yeah.
And there's not many Christian comedians. Like, a lot of comedians are just like godless, worthless drunks and drug addicts and stuff like that. And
As long as you know that.
So it was really weird to have Paul in my life because I was surrounded by all of these other people. And then Paul was just like, yeah, I go to church, I volunteer work. And he's talking about Christianity in his set. And it would be just like following me. And I'm talking about, my dick and all this shit and all this stupid stuff.
You talk about your dick?
No, I don't really talk about my dick. Like, that's just like the...
Just okay.
That's like, just like the, community, I'm out there talking about my dick. You've seen my stand-up.
Yeah, but you don't talk about your dick.
Yeah, well... There you go.
Yeah. You will like nearly show it in a photo. That's just being cheeky. When I did, just so you know, you guys, Joe Welkie is wearing a shirt. He has been wearing a shirt this whole time.
Yeah.
His Instagram might advertise.
If you know my Instagram, you know that that's a rare occasion. But, for Avrielle, I bust out all the stops. I'll break out my shirt. The one that
you sent me a photo. I'm like, is Joe Welkie really sending me this photo right now? But you know what? If I had those abs, I'd be sending photos to everybody. I'd be sending it to their grandmas.
That's the thing is like everybody will shit on me for doing that.
If you had it, you would too.
At the same time, they're like, if I had that, I would totally do it.
No, God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you get a deacon from a Presbyterian church being like, God bless you. No,
Well, the other thing too is like. I post it so much on my Instagram where I'm just like, I kind of leaned into it where I'm just like, fuck it, dude. Like, I've worked so hard to like get in really good shape and like, I'm proud of it and I want to fucking show it off. Yeah. And so I've posted it so often that.
And I support him. I always give him like a thumbs up. I'm very encouraging.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. It means more coming from a Christian deacon and the youngest in your church.
The youngest.
But because I do it so often, I feel like if I send somebody like a picture of me without a shirt on, because the other day I had it in my story, and
then desensitizes it. Like if you send it to a girl, it's like, well, I posted it on Instagram. Like it's not a scandalous
thing. That's what I'm saying. So like the other day, I think I was shirtless in my Instagram story, and you sent me a reply where it was like, do you ever have a shirt on? And at the time, I didn't have a shirt on. I just took a picture. I was like, I guess I know.
Oh, I thought that was like a stock photo. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
On the fly, you guys, you could get a great shirtless picture of Joe.
Yeah,
he will not disappoint.
At Joe Welkie.
That's how you're gonna rep this baby. Coming from a Christian, I'm letting you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Good Christian abs.
Good Christian. Good Christian abs. That's what you should call it. Make that a hashtag. Get that trending, please. Oh my God.
You know what's funny is my friend, that guy
Paul,
that I was telling you about, the good Christian, lovely gentleman.
I'm a better Christian.
I don't know if you are.
I bring movies to a 96-year-old woman, and we watch them every Thursday. I bring her ice cream, and we eat hamburgers in her bed.
Paul travels
and I brush her hair.
Comedy at Christian
I've done mission trips in Peru.
All right, okay.
I'm a better Christian.
All right, Paul Schisler, if you're listening, the gauntlet has been thrown.
Are you trying to set
down.
this up because it didn't work out with Matt?
No, Paul's married now.
Okay, thank the Lord.
Paul got married a couple years ago. He's got a kid now. But yeah,
And you're trying to break that up.
I would never.
No, I'm kidding. No, tell me what you were saying about your bud.
I forget what I was.
You were talking about your bud, Paul, and you're like, he is a Christian and it's hard, and he said.
Yeah. Well, so I always respected him in New York because people would judge the shit out of him for being like Christian, and it's got to be a lot harder there and here too. I think like there's super liberal like, oh, I don't believe in God, but like these crystals, these are something, and like the zodiac, and it's just like, yeah, it's the same board,
Yeah.
You're just putting why is that more valid than like somebody that's Christian?
Well, like I don't want to get a job because I'm a Christian. I want to get a job because I'm the best.
Yeah, there you go.
So I only really drop the Christian deacon bomb after I've proved myself excellent in what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So like I'm on 2 different TV series right now, and I haven't mentioned the Christian thing till I've like done like maybe 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And what's fun about that is people are like, wow, you are. I think something that was always told to me is like at the end of the day, everybody knows who everybody is. Mm-hmm. So who I am, will reflect what I do, where my interests are. So if somebody thinks I'm cool and then I say I'm a Christian, maybe that gives them pause, but they don't immediately hate me. I don't usually lead with I'm a Christian, and that's why I've dated people who aren't, because I just want to date somebody who's honest. I think there are decent and indecent people. And, there's not quite a clear Venn diagram of like where the Christians and non-Christians are with that.
Yeah.
But I know like if I want to get married, I want somebody that we agree on those things. Mm-hmm. But right now, maybe it's because my heart's been broken. Or I'm just so busy with my career now.
Yeah, well, you're a super busy lady. You're incredibly successful. Like, you're one of the people that I look at. You're one of the people that I look at and I'm like inspired by, because
you're so sweet.
You're always doing stuff, and it's really awesome.
You inspire me to like work out. No, really, like I had a callback, and I'm like, I don't know if I should treat myself and indulge in a co-op or go to KFC. And Joe Welkie was like, no, be healthy. Beach Bot season is upon us.
Oh, yeah,
and I'm like, yo, a dude just told me not to pig out. I'm not gonna do it. It's so funny. So you know, it's mutual exchange, feeling. The feeling is mutual.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. That's the word, respect. Respeto. That's Spanish for respect. Yeah. So dating's. I don't know. I feel like I'm like in a sad place for dating.
Yeah.
Like I'll go on a date, I'll go out, have fun, but I'm like, I don't want any of that. Maybe it's because I was so hurt. But everybody's been hurt.
Yeah. Are you like, do you feel like you're currently hurt?
Well, it's weird. Like, you know, the X-rays have popped back up in my life every once in a while, and then I'm like, I can't. How do you do that with people that you've dated? Do you still? I mean, we talk, but
yeah,
it wasn't like we loved each other.
Yeah, we didn't have like months long.
Yeah, we weren't like, oh, that's a great name for our child. Like, meet a kid named Jackson. Isn't that the cutest name? We should name our dog Plant that.
Yeah.
Maybe child.
Plant, you know, if it gets to that point.
If it gets to that point? Yeah.
So wait, what was the question?
Do you still like people that you've dated? Like, what's the...
Protocol?
Are you friends with... Yeah, protocol.
I have a difficult time with that because people that I've dated, it's usually... I've tried to... Okay, so I have 3 big exes where I'm just like, we've dated for a significant amount of time, and it was like serious. Or actually 4 now. The first one was the girl that kind of like gave me a complex about my body. And
ew.
Yeah, I first started dating her when I was in college, and I was really skinny. I probably weighed like 50 pounds less than I do right now.
See,
40, 50.
I love lanky, gaunt-looking men. I'd be like...
Oh, you would have been about 18-year-old Joe.
I would have made it work. You would be a Christian by now. We'd be married, and...
Dude, I went to Catholic school my whole life.
Oh, that's nice.
This is a debate that I had with somebody else. Do you consider Catholics Christian?
If they want to be, sure.
Because they believe in Christ.
Yeah. I'm not like you're a non-believer.
Yeah.
But it is different. Like, I wouldn't want to marry somebody who's Catholic and be committed to the Catholic Church.
Well, there's the door, Ever. It's been lovely having you.
But I wouldn't date a Catholic, but I wouldn't say that they're not a Christian. And also, I just think, like, God is bigger than us in our terms.
Yeah.
And how we break it down. But, you know, preference, no thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But that's cool. And you can call yourself a Christian. Lutherans call themselves Christians. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's weird to figure out like the delineation, because I've always thought of Catholics as Christian.
Scientologists that's a different thing.
Do they even believe in Jesus?
They say you can be a Christian and be a Scientologist.
Really? Well, I'm signing up.
I don't want to say anything.
The death stare that I just got.
I don't want to say anything, but what were you saying about?
So, yeah, I probably weighed like 40 pounds less than I did right now, and she kind of like shamed me about that. It was one of those things where...
A female shaming a man, that's amazing.
Yeah, right?
I can't even...
Well, we had started out as just kind of like friends with benefits, and we were kind of hooking up. And so it wasn't... The feelings weren't there yet. And she told me...
How can you even be intimate? Like, that's hard for me. I have to, like, at least hook on to say, like, I think this person's interesting, or... I can't physically bring myself to it unless I think...
I will give you the full story right now.
Oh my gosh, yes, please.
So, in college, I had, I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast before, but in college I had developed a bit of a reputation.
For what?
For being like a, I guess, man whore or something.
Really?
Yeah. Or like, I think the word
That's why I like
someone...
you. You're like secretly a player.
The word that someone else used was I was a womanizer. So,
I hate, no.
Yeah.
Were you?
I mean, I looked up a definition of a womanizer after I was called that, and it was like a man that like is courting several women.
Oh,
And I was
that's
like, oh yeah, then I guess I am.
aren't we all?
Yeah. So I had developed a reputation around my college campus as that, and this girl, she had been experimenting with her sexuality and like wanted to
Perfect target.
exactly. So she heard about me through several different people, and then reached out to me.
Did she come up to you and say, "Hey, Joe, I've heard about you"?
Pretty much. Well, one of her friends did. One of her friends was like, "Hey, Joe, I have this friend. She's heard about you. She's interested. She wants to hook up."
Oh
and
my
I was
gosh.
like, "This is perfect. Absolutely."
You're like, I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah. So
Your reputation preceded you.
exactly. So the thing about her was she had never been able to climax without the use of a shower head. She couldn't do it herself. She couldn't use like a vibrator. No man had made her do it. It's only through a shower head.
And you did it.
No. So that was the thing.
Sorry.
So the first time we hook up, you know, we do it. And then she goes, wow, I kind of expected a little bit more. And I was like, what do you mean? She's
That is egregious. That is disgusting. That is wrong. And I'm sorry that that was said to you. That is like just horrible.
yeah. So
Joe Welkie, that is terrible.
well, it gets worse.
I am fuming.
So I was like, well, I'm sorry, like whatever.
It's
and then,
not you, it's her.
well,
It's her own thing.
her thing was like, she had heard so much about me, and she was like, oh, I expected I heard about Joe Welkie, this like womanizing man. So I expected more, I guess.
My God, it's like I drafted you into my team, and where are your stats? Like, well, that is so. It's a human being. Like someone's like, so are you casually dating? I'm like, well, I just kind of date who I'm interested in, and if I'm not, then I'm not. I'm not trying to just use a person.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to feel used.
Well,
That's terrible.
it's kind of what I signed up for, because it was like, oh, she just wants
You
to hook
didn't
up.
sign up for that comment. That comment is
Yeah,
gross.
it was really rude. So the next day, the guy that set me up with her, I went up to him. I was like, what the fuck is this chick's problem? This is what she told me. And he was like, yeah, that's just kind of how she is. And then I was kind of like, well, I need to go back.
She's setting yourself up for failure. You wanted to go back.
Well, I was like, I need to go back because now I feel like I have underperformed or something. Or
Your reputation.
Well, I didn't like put out my best effort or something, you know? So
Your
I felt.
reputation. You went back for the reputation. Oh my gosh. That is so. That is so
Well, she was also really pretty. I thought anyway. So I went back, and then we just started kind of like hooking up casually for a little while. And then one time she told me that the guy that she had hooked up with me before me was hotter than me because he had like a better body than me and was like more muscular and shit like that.
Gross.
Yeah, looking back now, it was like very, very gross.
Get out. You're a weird human.
Yeah, but
You deserve all the unhappiness you give to everyone else.
So this
In
is where my
Jesus'
head
name.
was at.
Oh, no.
So we ended up starting dating for a little bit, and I was just like all about this girl, and so
Because it's emotionally manipulative.
possibly,
And effed up.
yeah. So I was all about this girl, and then so I was super. I think I was probably in love with this girl. So we were dating for a couple months, and then she went abroad to Israel for a year, and I was like, no, no, she was like studying abroad.
Oh, okay.
But for a year, which is like usually it's a semester, but she was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go for a year.
Weird.
And I was like so much about this girl that I was like, I'll wait for you. And she was like, okay, well, yeah, I mean that's a little extreme, but we can try it. And then like 2 weeks after she was there, she breaks up with me and a whole bunch of other stuff. So while she's away, I decided, I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to be super fucking jacked by the time she gets back, and she's going to regret dumping me.
Every guy I've dated, whenever we do the long distance, they're like, I'm going to work out. But I'm glad that they do, because I'm like, they're physically doing something even though we can't physically be intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with the thought of like preparation. Like,
Yeah.
I put it in the oven. So it's so funny how guys do that. Like if a girl goes away.
Well, I mean, it's not even like...
Because I've had guys do that, but
But
did not.
But you didn't say like your body's bad.
No, I never.
Yeah. So she went away for a year, and a year's a long time, and that gives you plenty of time to like get fucking jacked, bro. So by the time she came back, we hung out.
Like Adonis.
College, I was. If you
Perfection
think
perfection in every dimension.
my buddy Keel has
You
a
look
joke.
better then than you do now?
I was a lot more like ripped. If you think like I'm in good shape now, college Joe, yeah.
But also, like, I'm going to give you a small little girl thing. I've spoken about this with some girlfriends.
Sure.
We implicitly have, like, a lack of trust.
Yeah,
if somebody is super ripped, it's like, don't trust them. Or somebody's too handsome, I'm like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
Well, I mean, that just completely explains why you can't trust me. I mean,
Hey,
it's just
so handsome. Okay, wait, so get back. So she comes back after a year.
After I've been lifting and getting jacked.
So she already broke it off 2 weeks into it, and then the rest of the year, you're like, I'm still going to work out for her.
Well, it was like, it wasn't work out for her. At that point, it was like workout, like revenge body.
Revenge workout.
Revenge body, Khloe Kardashian. So it was like, by the time she came back, she was going to regret it. She's going to be like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. She came back. First time we see each other, she's like, oh my God, you look weird. You look weird now that you're all muscular and stuff. Like,
I have a question. Did she gain weight on this trip?
She definitely changed.
So
I won't say that she gained weight, but her outlook changed. She was always like a stoner, and so that's what kind of like I was attracted to about her, because she was like very chill. But while she was abroad, she did like a bunch of like hard party drugs and became like a hard party drug person.
Oh, that's scary. I think she also felt weird about how she looked and like deflected her weird insecurity to be like, you look weird. But really she felt weird when she saw how amazing you looked.
Maybe. That's a very generous reading of what happened.
It's not generous. I think that's like, it could be an interpretation.
But yeah, she said that I walked different because I used to walk kind of like loosey-goosey, I guess, when I was really skinny, and now I was kind of more hunched over because I had gained all this muscle. And so we hooked up like one time.
You still hooked up with her?
Well, you have to understand, I was really passionately about this girl for a long time, and she like really broke my heart for a while.
Yeah.
And then after the one time we hooked up, which was, fine. So in college, I was in a sketch comedy group, and I don't know if
with
you...
the TIFF.
No. That was a stand-up comedy group.
Oh, shoot. So much comedy.
Yeah, I was doing
Am I right?
comedy. Well, the girl was in the improv comedy group.
Ew. Improv girls are like really weird. They're kind of... My friend has gotten in a run-in with a troll who said that he allegedly like came on to her, and then he goes, no, I didn't. And then gave him a bad reputation, and then he joined a different team, and then later on when she was like really tipsy, she like... came on to him, and he was just like, I don't want to reject her because I don't want her to make up a rumor about this.
Yeah.
I just cannot be near her. And I'm like, what? It's improv girls. It's weird.
Improv chicks.
I do improv as well.
Well.
Okay, so anyways.
You're an outlier. You're the
Sure.
most sane.
I'm like the outlier in everything. Okay, so wait. So then what happened?
So I had a big brother in that stand-up group, because when I joined, there were 7 people in the group, and then there were 7 new people, and then each of the older people was like, I'll take you under my wing. So I had an older brother, mentor, sketch comedy person. So when she got back after we had hooked up for the first time, she started hooking up with my big brother from the sketch group. And I was just like, this is...
diabolical.
Yeah, this is just like too much for me. And then so... we had we did shows together because the sketch group and the improv group would do joint shows.
See, all the people I've dated have been so much older and like in a different world than I'm in that I like never have to see them again. Or internationally, they're in London and I'm here.
Well, this was college, so it was just
rough.
like, it was pretty rough. And I remember one time we were having a party before our show, just so we all got to know each other a little better. And I had already known this girl, so I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I think like what you did to me is kind of fucked up. And she was on, I think, codeine at the time at this party, or Oxycontin.
I was prescribed codeine, and I couldn't take it because it made me sick.
Yeah, she was, like I said, when she was abroad, she like started doing like some drugs.
Because she missed you so much. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, right now.
She's got, everybody's trying to self-medicate.
Yeah.
Is what the sad part is.
So I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I made it known, like, we're not talking. Like, I'll do the show with you. If we're in an improv scene together, I'm going to be professional. But I don't like you. And I think what you've done is, like, super fucked up. So we're at this party, and I lived in the house where the party was. And at the end of the party, when I was kind of done, I went up into my room, and she was, before I did that, she was like, we need to talk. And I was like, I don't want to talk to you. And so she's, like, fucked up on drugs. And I go up in my room, I lock the door, I was like, I'm done with this, I don't want to party anymore. And then she just starts, like, banging on my door.
That's terrifying.
Banging, being like, you need to talk, you can't avoid me. And then she started just screaming, you're not the victim. And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then she wrote a note and slid on my door, and it was just, like, all this kind of crazy drug stuff. Just like, you're not the victim, all this shit. And then, so that gave me...
Dating is hard.
Yeah, that was, like, my first love, I guess. My first, like, oh, this is the person I feel very, very passionate about. And that was my introduction. So I probably have a lot of, like, really fucked up feelings and like, viewpoints about dating because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
well,
it's hard to trust,
It's hard to trust people. Like, for me, like, that's why, like, I don't want to date a guy in church. Like, I'll bring a guy to church. It was very funny on Easter. There were, like, 5 different dudes sitting in the row. My pastor was just like, what is this? I'm like, I tell these different people that I've gone out with that I have no time to go out, so I have now formed a church brother harem.
Yeah, I was just thinking of a harem.
Quite the harem. One's a friend, one's a weirdo, well, one's a lingerer, and then one with this guy that I met at, like, this physical dance thing. He's also an actor. I try not to date actors, but I don't know if actors are comedians.
So who do you go for? Because you're kind of a limit. You're like, no people at church, no.
Well, this was weird. So
actors, no.
This guy. This is an interesting story. Or you can, if it's not, you edit it out.
There's no editing on this.
Oh my gosh, you need to edit something. There's been so much weird.
Yeah, it's all part of the charm of it.
Jesus Christ, superstar. Okay, well, let me just try to put a package on this one. Like, I meet people in real life who ask me out. Well, yeah. So I was at this dance thing, and it was like this man from Greece who had worked in London, who had known some people that I like, this Russian director. It's a weird thing, but I'm doing this dance thing. And it's like movement for actors, and it's very abstract and whatever. So I met this guy there, and he was kind of odd. And through the movement work and everything like that, I made him very upset and angry because I was, like, laughing. And he felt belittled. And
you were like laughing at his performance?
But it was the most honest laughter. It wasn't a performance. It was like through this movement work. It's a very weird thing. Thank God it didn't end up in an orgy. I've actually been asked to be part of 2 different high-profile orgy circles.
You seem like a person that would be like... you seem like the person that's usually, like, down for anything. It's like, hey, I have extra tickets to this. You want to go? You're like, oh, fuck yeah, I want to go.
Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But also, you're a deacon at a church, so it would surprise me to be like,
Still
hey.
waiting for marriage.
Yeah.
Still a virgin. That's a fun thing. That's a fun part of the podcast.
Yeah.
People know that.
Well, I mean, my friend Paul waited till marriage.
Till marriage. And for me, I don't mind if the guy hasn't. But I know for me, I am. But anyway, so this person, he, like, comes up to me, and he's just like, can I have your number? And I'm like, yeah. But, like, during the warm-ups and things, there was, like, a bit of animosity, and him being weird towards me made me just laugh, honestly. And I wasn't like, ha, 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 laughing at you. It was just an honest belly laugh, which is even worse.
Yeah. One of those uncontrollable, just
I couldn't help it.
instinct reactions.
Yeah. So he's like, here's my phone. And I'm like, okay. So I put my number in, and I'm like, well, I'll hear from you soon. He goes, no, for, like, work and stuff. And I'm like,
For work and stuff?
What the F does that mean?
Yeah.
Now, he's, like, from London. He's an actor. And he's like, come here. And he's on a whatever. But his parents were, like, diplomats and stuff, so I'm like, you understand the social interaction more than other people should. Like, you're weird, but very handsome and weird lanky. You're my type.
You're tight.
But he knew about, like, where I went to church, and he goes, oh, I'm so sad that your pastor's leaving. I'm like, how did you know that? Did I tell you? He goes, no, I get the newsletter. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, because I live in the neighborhood. And I walked by, and I talked to somebody once. I'm like, oh, weird. Huh. So long story short, he asked me on a date. I say I can't go. I also do this because if I don't have time to go on a date with somebody and I'm, like, not really interested, I'll be like, want to come to church? I was like, F you, go away. And he actually did. He came in a blue suit.
Like bright blue?
It's like the dark blue. It's like a blue suit. Dudes have blue suits now. I feel like you have a gray, a black, maybe a blue. So I had a blue suit and a tie, and I'm like, what? Very
He's trying to
handsome.
impress the deacon.
You're trying to impress me, man. Yeah, you did. And then I'm like, oh, hey, I didn't actually think you'd show up. He goes, yeah. He goes, so where do you sit? I go, I sit with my parents in the second row. He goes, oh, that's very funny. I go, no, you're about to meet them now. Let's go.
You were really trying to push this guy away.
And he came back for Easter.
Well,
But then there were like the other dudes. My friend Robbie, this guy named Dan who flew in from London who now lives here. My friend Zach who's now engaged.
people from London like you.
Yes. No, well, I also, people from London like me. I dated like, after I had my breakup, I dated 3 Joes at one time. I dated 2 other people that were English that had also gone to Cambridge that grew up in West Sussex, just like my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, God, golly gee, I got a type. Oh my God, I have exhausted this option. But yeah, so that guy came to church 2 times.
Your types. British guys named Joe.
Seriously, and the Joe was the ex-boyfriend. His name was Joe.
There you go.
But get this is the funny part.
A British Joe?
A British Joe.
Wow.
Hello.
How did that not work
How did
out?
that not? It didn't. His name is Jolien.
Oh, no. Get the
Terrible.
fuck out of here. You're done, buddy.
And somebody was like, oh, Jolly? And he goes, no, sir, you'd be emphatically wrong. Anyways, what else can I say about dating to tie this up? Because this is long and I feel bad.
You don't need to feel bad.
People are going to sit through this.
No, this isn't like a normal episode. Like,
This
if
is
you
normal?
want to wrap it up, though, I got a couple more questions
Oh,
for
no,
you.
ask a couple questions. I'm just going to go visit a baby who sleeps at weird hours, so we're fine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, then I have just like the couple last questions I ask people if you're all right. What's one thing that you'd like to change about dating?
Like on an app or in real life?
Anything. Just dating in general, what's one thing you'd like to see changed? If you could change one thing. Magic wand scenario.
I know this is going to sound crazy. Traffic. Just getting to the date.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I lose people that way, and then I feel like once I show up late, I have to compensate and be extra charming and cute because I just feel bad. So just, traffic. Not my ability to change, just traffic. So that there wouldn't be as much of it just to get
not
to the
you
date.
leave earlier, but just other people are in
Man.
your...
Oh my gosh, my friend was on a BuzzFeed article. You know the BuzzFeed article where it was like, yeah, she's a 6, but I think I'll take her home?
No.
And by mistake, he sends it to the girl that he's on the date with when he meant to send it to his friend.
So he was on a date with the author of this article and sent it to her?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And he sent her and he said, because he meant to send to his friend.
Yeah.
Who's like, hey, how's dating? I know you had a breakup like a month ago and you're going on a date tonight. Hope it goes great. He goes, she's a 6, but I think I'll still take her home. Sends it to her, the girl, who's a 6, in his eyes.
Yeah.
And then he just stays in the bathroom for like an hour watching Netflix because he doesn't want to get out. Because my friend's a coward. And
That's hilarious.
then when he comes out, the guy was like, dude, I don't know what you did, but you still got to pay this bill. Because the girl left. And then he's like, I should definitely pay for it. He goes, what did you do?
One of my favorite songs, my favorite band is Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite
They're good.
songs is a song that they do called Still Take You Home.
How does it go?
It's about a girl that the singer sees at a club, and she's, she thinks she's hot shit, and he's like, I know that you're full of shit, and you're not that cool. You're not as cool as you think you are, but I'd still take you home.
See, I think that song is where I'm at with dating right now. I'm like, sure.
Yeah. Well, you're not taking anybody home. You're waiting until marriage.
I'm waiting. Yeah. No, that's the other thing is that I don't, dropping the Christian bomb.
Yeah.
Dropping that one. But it's funny.
I'm sure that's polarizing.
There's this
Splits the crowd.
There's this one person who's an absolute, he scares me because he's such a tiger and he's like a well-known cinematographer. And what's funny about him is he like have an agreement, like he's like, you must not be wanting to have, like you were actively trying not to have sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I'm correct in that. I go, yes. Oh man, I feel like we've been playing like Pictionary and you finally guessed it, and I can stop drawing and exhausting myself in front of other people at parties. And then the timer, nobody had a timer on. Great. I'm so glad you said that, not me. Right? But this is somebody who's like pursued me for a long time.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as I had the breakup, he found out from a friend that I was single, and he like messaged me. He goes, "Hey, you want to hang out tonight? I just got in from Vancouver." I'm like, "Did you mean to send this to me? I think you sent this by mistake." He goes, "No, I'm going to send it to you." Haha. I'm like, "Wow, after all this time." And he goes, "Oh, you're tough." And then I was trying to send photos of him to a friend, but I by mistake sent them to him. Mm-hmm. But you can unsend on Instagram, thank the Lord. Mm-hmm. And he goes, "It's really weird. I got 3 pictures of you that have now disappeared." I'm like, "Yeah, Mercury's in retrograde." Am I right?
Were they scandalous pictures?
No, they were pictures of him from his Instagram.
Oh,
I was trying to
so you can
send
show
to
it to your friend and be like, "Hey,
share,
look at this guy.
Look at this hot guy. Who's this person who's trying to..."
Well, when you sent me that comedian that you were talking to, I was like, what the fuck are you doing,
absolute
Avrielle?
trash, that man. But anyways, this guy, so he's just like, "What?" He goes, he goes, "Avrielle, I think you're..." And I've gone to really cool events with him. Mm. And he's just, I could show you texts. They're hilarious. They're really funny. But we almost have like this agreement. It's not quite a booty call, but if I'm like driving by, I'm like, "Hey, I'm kind of near your place. We could kiss." So we'll kiss and we'll watch like a Netflix show. We'll watch like Fawlty Towers.
And just
He's
smooch?
older. He's older. I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you after we're done recording this how much older he is, but oh my God.
Wait, you actually drive by and you're like, "Hey, you want to smooch?"
Yeah.
That's cute.
And we do. And it's
That's
great.
adorable.
And it's an understanding. He's surprisingly tender. And I'm like, wow.
Huh.
I was not expecting that. But yeah, it's very funny. It's very, very funny. He also doesn't drink.
That's not a booty call. That's a smoochy call.
That's a smoochie call. It's a smoochie call.
I'm coining that
He
right
goes,
now.
he goes,
here
"I'll be your Christian girl booty call." He goes, "I love this." He goes, he's somebody who's just like, "I will forever be a bachelor and never have kids." And I'm like, that's great. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think you should be a father. You're kind of a terrible person. But I'll kiss you.
Oh, God.
So that's where I'm at with that. As a Christian.
You want to know what's funny? I briefly dated a girl that was Christian and like saving herself to a marriage in college. And what was unique about her was that I wrote a joke about this actually when I was back in school.
Save it for the stage. I used it. Did I do it right?
Yes, you 100% did. I just got owned, everybody, on my own podcast.
Okay, so tell me what it was.
It was, so she was 20, never seen a penis in real life before. Never once.
Seen it. I had touched one, but I'd never seen one like in daylight.
Yeah, she had never seen one.
So I was like 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were like this girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the joke was like
fast-paced.
she was a slut.
I actually hate that term.
Yeah, well, everyone does. It's so harsh sounding. I like to say it like when it's very obviously like just like an old lady. It's like, "Oh, look at this slut."
I love calling old ladies babes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"Anna, you're such a babe," and she's 96. She's a babe.
But so she had never seen it. I was like, "Dude, you've never seen a penis? You're 20 years old, dude. I feel like I see penises by accident. Like I'll just be walking somewhere and just like look to my right and some guy's just like, 'Hey, what's up?' and his dick's out." Especially out here.
The first one that I'd actually gotten a picture from a professor that I had to file a thing about, and I was just like, I was so upset. I'm like, that's what it looks like. I think without context or loving the person or very close up, he sent me a dick pic. And so I was just,
no.
And then when I saw like one that I like knew the person
Yeah.
and I wanted, then I'm like, oh wow, okay,
It was better.
Yeah.
Or was it?
It was
it not?
Well, one was circumcised, one was not. So I got to be like, okay, penises look different.
Yeah, they do.
They look different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's different. It's like, I'm glad that I know that because I'm like, I'm glad that people aren't expecting boobs to look the same.
Yeah, there's a lot of variety.
The
on
eyes
boobs.
can go sideways. They can go like this. So anyways, she had never seen a penis.
Yeah, I mean, I just did the joke, and then...
Well, what was the joke? Wait, say it.
It was like, I feel like I see penises by accident. Like, I've seen, like, infinitely more penises than this woman.
Yeah.
And it like, freaked me out.
Yeah.
I was just like, wait a minute.
She's probably seen more boobs than you, too.
Probably. I mean, well, it's just locker room shit. Like,
Locker room.
women see boobs all the time.
Yeah.
Guys see dicks all the time. But, like, you see dicks in public.
What?
You've never seen like a homeless person's penis?
I look away.
But I mean, I've seen it. Like, there's sometimes where it's just like, oh shit, oh, okay, there you go.
See, but the thing is like, if I think there's I automatically have not looked.
Ah, well, I guess you're just not a curious person. Curiosity did not kill this cat.
Not this one. Not this cattin'.
So what do you think is the worst part about dating?
That the texting before the first date. It's just tedious.
Yeah.
Of like, when it becomes too much, where you're like, Nicole Byer talks about this, a false intimacy of just texting too much. Like, I don't like that either. And so, like this person that I'm going to be seeing on Sunday, who hopefully is not my cousin. No, because my father's side of the family, this man had his family and then a second family, low key.
Yeah.
Tío Segundo, the second uncle. So I'm like, what if he's from that side? Because he is of Latin descent, but not Venezuelan, or that he knows of. And he's a singer, and my dad sings. And now I'm like, maybe he's a cousin. But anyways,
Worst part about dating is finding out it's your cousin.
Yeah, that was the worst part right there. It's like, ah, damn. I can't because I don't want our kids to have webbed feet. But I also don't date somebody unless I think I wouldn't mind spending time with this person. But I think honestly it's the texting before. So with this dude, we have good texting. It's not too much, but we're staying in touch. Great text banter. But if you have too much banter, like the one that was the comedian who ended up having a girlfriend who I saw by mistake and recognized him by his elbows at first.
Yes.
Before I saw his old man face.
Yeah, he was not good looking.
Oh my
man.
God!
When you sent me him, I was like, I was just disappointed in you. I felt like a parent.
Jesus.
It's like my daughter needs to be doing better for herself.
It was so funny. Your text is what made me laugh the hardest. You're like, raise your standards. This is what he said. End quote. It looks like he bathed in soy sauce and washed his hair with tar.
Yeah.
Or he bathed in tar and washed his hair with soy sauce.
Yeah.
Either way, it was hilarious. I'm like, you got to put that in the stand-up. But yeah, the texting right before the date. Because even afterwards, I think that's not even so awkward, saying I want to see you again, or you know what, this was fun, and I hope for the best. I've done that in person.
Well, I want to let you know on a little secret.
Yes.
Between you and I generally hate talking on the phone. It's like a noted thing.
Really?
I tell people I hate talking on the phone. You were one of the few exceptions to someone where you called me and I was like, okay, I'll talk to this person.
I think it's because I went on a date with this one dude who I just thought was just the bee's knees, so attractive on an app. And then I met him in person, and his voice, it made me want to just shrivel up and die. It wasn't like Mike Tyson. It was just weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of stayed to be like, can you sustain this accent? No, that's real. I got to get out.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So I always try to get a phone call or some kind of voice, flirty voice message thing going on, because I just want to know, do you have a nice voice?
Yeah.
Because to me, in the dark, if I can't see you and it's just your voice, I want to feel like it's nice.
All right, last question for you
Yes.
before we wrap everything up. What is one piece of advice that you'd like to give people listening about dating?
Everyone, being bold, I think, really pays off.
Yeah.
Especially now, we don't really see the person. So, if you're interested, just go up to somebody. And sometimes when people come up to me that maybe I wouldn't have considered on an app, I'll just say yes because I'm like, wow, they're really bold. And I find that attractive, that confidence.
Yeah, it takes cojones.
And then, for me with the silly situation that I have, I'm like, I'm going to text them. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
And people are more willing to try things out than we realize. And I realize that I try more things out than I realize because somebody will offer. I'm like, yeah, why not? So,
yeah, that's the thing is I always feel like I'm more open if someone approaches me. The last woman that I seriously dated, I had never considered dating her or anything or going up to her, but then she came up to me and was like, hey, you want to do this? And I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it was a pretty good relationship for a bit.
Well, and for me, it was I jokingly say want to come to church, but I'm putting out an offer want to come to church. That's kind of a bold thing to say okay, because
it's a bold offer, and then also you're kind of testing them.
I love testing people.
I know.
I love it. But I guess I'd say that of
be more bold.
Be more bold. I have a friend who's this model for Ralph Lauren of I won't say which year.
Give her my number.
It's a he. It's a he.
Oh, never mind.
And what was funny is
you know what? Give him my number. Let him come on the podcast.
Well, it was funny because he was dating this other person that I somewhat knew who was not remotely as cute as them. and she asked him out.
Huh.
And they dated for 2 years.
Well, there you go.
And so when it comes to like, oh, that person's too attractive, or that person's they're so different than me, because she has a very different interest and field than he does with entertainment. So I'm just like, oh wow, that just because the opportunity presented itself, and that person, not a lot of people approach them.
Yeah.
So why not?
Well, it was like that kind of like fable, I guess, of like in high school when you're talking about prom or something.
Yeah.
Nobody asks the pretty girl because they all think that she's just going to reject them, and then she ends up going with no one because no one asked her. So there could be a little bit of that going on. Yeah. So be a bit more bold. Fortune favors the bold. All right. Anything else you want to share? Got a website or something that?
I don't have a website. This has been so much fun. You guys, you got to follow Joe Welkie and his comedy, and just his personal Instagram, because it'll be riddled with bits of these stories and fun things like that, and his love for Taco Bell. So
yes.
Taco Bell, please represent like you do race car drivers, Joe Welkie, because he will not let you down. He will not let you down. His body don't quit like those cars do sometimes. So yeah, go to church.
All right.
Try it.
That was another great piece of advice to end the podcast. All right. Avrielle, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Well, there you have it, everybody. That was my little chat with Avrielle. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. She's just a fantastic human being to have in your life. I'm really happy that she came on the podcast. If you want to know everything about the podcast, you can go to datingishardcomedy.com. Got a website going real well. Made it a couple days ago. I'm super happy of how it looks and how it turned out, you know. You can follow the Instagram at datingishardcomedy. You can follow me on Instagram at Joe Welkie. The live show is every fourth Wednesday at 9:30 at Pack Theater, which is a by donation theater. So that means if you can spare some dollars and throw it their way, that goes a long way into helping the theater keep going. But if you can't, guess what? You can still come to the shows. Like and subscribe and share and tell all your friends to listen and give it a 5-star review, please. That's how podcasts work and how it gets, distributed better. So really appreciate you guys listening. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye.